Hey Wargamers! Today we're going to take a look into one of the most underrated gems in Stormcast's eternal arsenal, the Reclusians. These recent additions to the army, released alongside Skaventide update, pack more punch than most players realize. Now let's look at why the Reclusians are so secretly powerful. Critical mortal wounds potential makes them deadly in combat. Built-in 5+ ward saves for excellent survivability. Ability to ignore enemy effects makes them incredibly resilient. Now let's break down exactly what makes these units so special in the current meta. Let's look at their combat potential. The ability to deal mortal wounds on criticals is absolutely devastating, especially when you consider their attack volume. This makes them a serious threat, even to the toughest units in the game. And let's talk about defensive capabilities. The 5+ ward save may not sound impressive first, but combined with their ability to shrug off enemy abilities, they become surprisingly difficult to remove from the board. Here's how to get the most out of your Reclusians on the battlefield. Use them alongside frontline fighters. They can take punishment with a 5+ ward save and potentially 3-up save to ignore incoming abilities. Target high value enemy units to maximize the mortal wounds output. Position them where the enemy abilities will be normally devastating. They only have 3 models per unit of 140 points. Moving around the battlefield with a reinforced unit of 6 fits into that sweet spot of the current coherency rule. So you can run either 2 ranks, run them in a group, or a single line depending on the situation, which makes it very flexible. It sure is amazingly devastating for a mere 280 points.
Firecracker.
Did I say firecracker? Maybe I say
Devastating comet. Alright.
Now let's have a look at their comparative unit, which are the Questor Soulsworn, my previous favorite unit in Stormcast Infantry, which is also a unit of 6 models, 3 health each, 3 attacks each, or 2 damage, 3 on 3s. At a glance, the unit is 220 points and can teleport once a game, and if they're contesting an objective predetermined at the beginning of the game, they also get a 5+ ward, which is not very often. Now, while they are capable of holding a line against weak infantry units with a 3+ save, they don't particularly pack that much of a punch with a 1 rend, even when they're doing 2 damage. Reclusians also have 3 attacks, 2 damage, 3 to hit, 3 to wound, 1 rend, but they do mortal wounds on a critical hit. And based on the number of dice they're rolling, they can potentially make up all the difference in a tough fight against an important piece your opponent has. Now, because of all these reasons in current meta, while I would never run more than 1 Questor Soulsworn per army, I could potentially run 2 or more units of reinforced Reclusians. Now these guys and ladies can certainly hold down line of enemy ranks. When they need to, they can also be a damage dealer and pack a punch for just 280 points. So, what are their weaknesses? They only have 3 models, and with a low control score, they potentially does not capture any objectives. Is my response A? Well, if they kill all the enemy units that are contesting the objective, then you have no problems at all. And B, if you pair it together with a Lord Terminus, they get an extra bonus of 3 control score. So that's great. Weakness number 2, they only move 5 inches, which means they can't move across the battlefield to get to where they need to go. The current meta has a Lieutenant Honor Guard option, which gives all the units within 12 inch a +2 to movement. And that's great for Reclusians because they don't have a lot of models, so they can all go together to exactly where they need to go. My second response to that, they are prayers that helps you get around. In the current SCE faction, you can use Translocate. And then in their own new Army of Renown in the Rune Nation chamber, you can also give a prayer that gives the unit +2 to move, and if you get 8+, you can run and charge at the same time, which essentially mean, with the help of a Lieutenant, you could get a Reclusion with base of 5, +2 of the prayer, +2 of the Lieutenant, and then run and charge. So that means 9 plus a run plus a charge which I argue can get you anywhere. And last but not least, the Stormcast now also has a terrain, this guy, that allows you to teleport for free. So there you go. So then, let's have a look at the list building options. What would you include the Reclusians with your army? Consider these synergies. Pair it together with a supporting hero to enhance the already impressive capabilities. AKA, if you pair it with a Lord Terminos, you can really pack a punch, particularly if you run in the standard Stormcast army with the Quicksilver Drought. You can strike first, and when you strike first out of turn, even if the enemy charges at you, you can hit back with the entire unit for just 280 points plus the Lord Terminos, which is 140 currently. 320 points, you get a group of immovable objects that can hit really hard. So that's one. And then, number 2, pick the battalion options that give them further enhancement to their durability. So if you run them as a Ruination Chamber, if you pick one of the Reclusians army, which is 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, or even 4, those guys get automatic 5+ ward save, and plus they have the ability to shrug off an ability on the 4+, makes them extremely durable. Yes, you do have to pick which Reclusion will get the bonus per turn, but that's the fun stuff that you get to play with during the game. Can't be too easy, so it gives you opportunity to increase your skill cap to differentiate you from other players. Last but not least, consider having multiple units to create a reliable anvil and hammer, depending on when you need it, in your army. I'm thinking about running 3 or 4, so what about you? I don't know. What does it mean for me here? Well, CanCon is only a couple of weeks away, and it would be a perfect chance to test out this theory. It would be highly likely that I get to test out my theory with the Reclusions units, and if I do test it, I will report back the effectiveness of the whole strategy in future videos. Conclusion. Don't sleep on your Reclusions. They're not just another Stormcast unit, they are a powerful tool that can turn the tide of battle when used correctly. If you consider what you've heard in this video, you might want to give them a try in your next game. You may just find your next favorite unit of Stormcast Eternals. So what do you think? Do you think you're going to run this? Who would you run it with? And what do you think would be better options than the Reclusions? Now, if you like this video, or if it added any value to you, please hit that like button. It's free and it helps the channel. And if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button so more of this type of content will be delivered to you in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Happy wargaming. Beep. Okay.